Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am very excited for today's video because I have a new collection from Fantasy Cosmetica. So this is the Warlock collection. It is a palette, a bunch of new lip oils, and a perfume. I did not get the perfume, but I got everything else, and I am very excited to try this out. I really like Fantasy Cosmetica. They are a local brand for me here in the Seattle area, and this just looks like a really fun color story. I'm going to be doing a first impression today, so I'm going to be trying out the lip oils, doing some swatches, and I think just one look is all I have time for, but I will do other videos if you are interested, so let me know. And if you are new here, welcome. My name is Colin. I'm a non-binary Latinx scientist and lover of makeup with a definite soft spot for indie makeup and high-end makeup, and I tend to take a pretty analytical approach to my content, to my reviews, and my collection as a whole, and I have new videos every week, so I'd love to have you subscribe. Okay, so it is it is like 6 o'clock at night, just got home from work, and I'm very excited to film. So this palette launches on September 27th at 9 a.m., which is probably when this video is going up. It is currently the 26th. I got this a couple days ago, but could not film with it. I am just getting over having COVID. My tests are negative now, was able to go back to work, feeling mostly better. So finally able to film. I didn't want to film while I was sick and contaminate anything. So very excited to finally get to try this. So this is the Warlock palette. This is going to retail for $38.99. You can use a discount code with this. I have one. It is an affiliate code. I think it is Bones. I'll have it here on the screen and in the description box. That'll save you 10%. It is an affiliate code, so I do get a small commission for that. So I really thank you if you do use that. And that'll work on everything in this collection or any of their other products. I do have multiple other palettes from them that I have purchased or received, and I will do some comparisons as well. Really excited for this, especially the lip oils. I love lip oil. I go through the House Labs lip oil faster than I would like to admit. It's the favorite one I've tried so far because I haven't tried the Dior, and very excited to try these. So I asked for all of the shades because there were a couple that I was like, I will wear that a lot, and a couple I just needed to know. So I figured I could do some lip swatches for those too. So there are 5 of those. They come in this pretty simple packaging, which I actually appreciate. They each have a name, the ingredients on them. So we'll go over all of that in a minute. Those are gonna retail for $12.49, yep. And then as they have done with their last couple collections, I really appreciate this. You can also buy the shadows as singles. So the mattes are going to be $4.99, and the single duo / multi-chrome shades, the shimmers, are $9.99. This is made in China. I believe it is a private label brand. They're pretty transparent about that though, which I don't mind. What I don't like is when it's like you bought a pre-existing palette and you just put your name on it, or didn't even do that, and you're just selling it for a huge markup. It is obviously custom packaging, curated color story, so it might not be their own formula that they worked with a lab to create because that's expensive, but they've still put a lot of effort in this, and I really appreciate that. Really like the new packaging that they've done. So starting with the Fighter palette, they switched to this stained glass kind of design. You can see here's the Rogue, the old Rogue palette. They just redesigned this one. I think this one, my Rogue, is magnetic as well. This one I got in PR. This one was given to me by a friend. And then I bought the first 2. I don't have the Sorcerer palette. The color story was like pretty, but not pretty enough for me to buy because it had kind of a lot of pink, and I just don't really wear pink. But I do have the original palette Druid, which I bought at launch, and the Bard palette. And you can definitely see that progression in packaging over time, which I really appreciate. Jordan has really listened to feedback, especially with this one. I was one of the people that bought this at launch and said, like, it's kind of hard to read the font on all of the packaging, like, you know, really like it, but for your next one, can you increase the contrast? And they did. They really worked on listening to the customers, which is something I think businesses should do. And I like that they're reissuing the old palettes, that they are also magnetic. You can buy them as singles, you can buy them magnetic, and they all have a cohesive design, which I really like. So like I said, this is gonna retail for $38.99 before a code. In general, I think that's definitely worth it. So we'll see if this one is the same. And then the inside packaging looks exactly the same as the outer. Flip it up, and it is a really fun color story. So the Fighter palette was the last, and it was their first neutral palette. Really enjoyed that. Have been wearing that. I haven't worn it in a couple weeks, but I've worn it a lot. Really like it. It's very work appropriate, which I like, but still sparkly and fun. This is just really fun and colorful, and I think fits the theme. The colors are really interesting. I'm excited to try this out. I will probably stick with the greens today. It's just the mood I'm in. But really excited. Like I said, this is gonna be a first impression, so not a full review, but I have, as you can see, multiple palettes from them. I know the formula, so I can give you a thought of how it compares to the others, and I can also give you some comparison swatches to, like, you know, the greens in the other palettes, and like this shade versus any kind of similar shade in the others. And then here are the lip oils. So they come in a plastic. They come in plastic, but they come in a little cardboard box. Each one says the name on the top and the side, and they have the ingredients list. I was worried that they would have avocado oil in it because a lot of them have been lately. Not from this brand, but just in general. They do not, but they do have coconut oil if you're sensitive to that. They have shea butter. They have some ginger extract. I'm excited to try these on. So there are 5 of these. There is Fiend, or is it Fiend or Fiends? I can't tell if that's an S. I think it's an S, but it also just kind of looks like the D has a tail. But it is this red color, which I knew I would get a lot of use out of. This one is Affilate, which is a really interesting yellow, so I had to try it. Might look weird on my complexion, but worst case, my best friend might like it. If it looks weird on my olive undertone. There is this purple one. This is Ancient One. Really excited for this. This one is grape flavored. They each have a different flavor. I don't remember what they all are, but I think this one was like a berry. This one was like a mango. This one was grape. I think this one was apple. This is Archfey. It's a sparkly green, so there's 2 sparklies. And then this is Demon, and it is a sparkly black. And I think this one had like black currant, so I had to have that. There's also a perfume launching with this. I will read the description. I read it and it sounded interesting, but also something like not my kind of perfume, so I did decline that. I really like that Fantasy Cosmetica does that. They send out an email saying, here's what's coming soon. Do you want it? If so, what would you like to try out of this? So that way they're not wasting products. So it says, the Warlock perfume is inspired by dark desires and summoning rituals. So it's a dark rose with herbal notes and a seductive sweetness. Don't really like any kind of sweetness in my perfumes, which is why I said no. I also don't like rose that much, but I think for the right person, it's gonna be a really great smell. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the lip swatches, I think. Like I said, I did just get home from work. I am wearing some makeup already. I have a little bit of eyeliner from Lisa Eldridge on, but nothing on my lids. And then I have one of my mini samples of the Lisa Eldridge foundation on my face. I think I'm gonna finally buy it. I have a gift card, and my birthday is in a couple days. My birthday is the 28th, so my birthday is the day after this comes out. And then, so I have that on, and then I used one of my new Hourglass palettes because those came right as I got sick. I got the Surratt Dew Drop Concealer in PR, plus a couple other things. They sent me another package. I'm wearing the shade 5 under the eyes, and it is a really good under eye shade. This is my first time wearing it. I think it looks really nice so far. I've had this makeup on now. It's 6:30, and I put this on at 8:30. I think my face is looking really good. I haven't powdered or done anything. I mean, I think my blush is kind of faded a bit, but like, I went with a very natural look since I was just gonna be sitting at a desk all day. I also just got my first PR package from What's Up Beauty. I've wanted to try them for a long time, but it's always been like, since I work in a limited budget every month, they always like launch something after I've spent my budget or something. But they did reach out and ask if I wanted to try their new launch, and I said, yes, of course. No pressure to post, obviously, but they did send me both their new Serengeti highlighters and their new mascara. So this is the Watch Me mascara. It's a volumizing and lengthening mascara made in Italy. Did not try this today, but excited to try that. And then they sent the Serengeti highlighters. I will do another video on this, but I'm excited to try these. I might throw one on now. Each one has 2 colors, so you can use them individually or swat or like mix them. So there's like a champagne and a light gold pink in one, and then the other one is a copper and a gold with a sheer, so instead of a light gold with a pink base, it's just a gold with a pink base. So like a lighter and a darker. I'm gonna grab the darker one. This is the darker one. The packaging is gorgeous. I don't know how much these are gonna cost. I don't think it says so. I don't think it says on here. Oh, $34. That's not bad for the packaging and how much is going in this. It has squalene and glycerin in it. They're inspired by her husband growing up in Africa for part of his childhood. And then the embossing, really, really pretty. It's kind of hard to see with my ring light, especially because the sun is going down. But there's a cheetah and then some acacia trees and giraffes in the background. It's really pretty. I don't want to ruin it, but I'm gonna pick up a little bit on a highlighter brush and just put a little on because I'm not wearing any highlighter. Okay. Oh, that's really pretty. Really smooth, no glitter, but really reflective. This is the darker of the two. This is, which is this? Safari Sunset. Yeah, that's really reflective. Okay. But it looks very natural at the same time. So I will do another video on those and try those out. But since I wasn't wearing highlighter, I figured let's try some now. Okay. So I think I'm gonna wear Fiend or Fiends the most. The other ones are just fun. So let's see how they look. I'm gonna start with Fiend. Let's try that. So nice component, very similar to a lot of other lip oils. Got a really big doe foot. Wow, it's a really pretty color. Oh, this one, it smells, yeah, it's fruity. My brain is fried from today. I can't pinpoint the fruit, maybe strawberry, but it's a very big doe foot. So let's try this out. Very pigmented. Kind of looks like I'm bleeding. This is a really pigmented lip oil. Wow. Okay. I'm making a mess. I'm gonna go clean this up real quick. Okay. So this is the red. Really comfortable. Doesn't have a flavor, just the scent. Okay. There was a siren. It's passed. This is really comfortable. It's sinking into the lips nicely. It just looks like I have like a lip tint or a lip gloss, like a really pigmented gloss on, but it definitely feels like an oil. I will do wear tests on this, obviously, but really like the way this looks. I will wear this a lot. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this off and try on the next one. Okay, so that wiped off nicely. I might have left a little bit of a tint, but not too much. The next one is, I'm gonna try Affilate. I need to know what this looks like. And this, it's definitely fruit, tropical fruit. I think it's supposed to be mango. I mean, that would make sense with the color too. So let's see. Okay, this is a little more sheer. That's interesting. I will actually, this might be the one I wear the most. I was a little worried about the color, but it's kind of orangey, but kind of sheer enough that it just kind of blends in. Like there's definitely a tint, but it's not like a crazy weird color. It's like a soft orange tint. I like that. Okay, this might be my favorite. I'm probably gonna wear this one the most because this is my kind of not really wearing anything else kind of color. Okay, let's try the green next before I go into the dark colors. This is the shade, again, Archfey. Again, it's a little more sheer. I think that's kiwi. Yeah, I think that's kiwi scented. And then, okay, that's nice. I think this is gonna be the most wearable and subtle. The green might cancel out a little bit of redness in your lips, but otherwise it's pretty sheer. So it's not giving too much color. It's just, yeah, it's kind of muting my lips and adding a shine. The sparkle in it is subtle, mostly just adding to the shine, like you can see as my light reflects off my lip. So that's really nice. Definitely kiwi. I like that one a lot. Okay, now let's try this grape one. This is Ancient One. The color intrigued me. I just needed it even though it was grape. I just don't like grape things. I don't really like grapes either. I like wine. That's really the only grape product I like. And yeah, I think that's it, just wine. That is very grape. If you don't like grape, you might not like this. Oh, but the color's really cool. Okay, so the red so far is the most pigmented. For what, if you want like a lip oil slash a lip, you want it to be like a red lip. I think this one's really cool. I'm gonna wear this one a lot too, especially if the grape smell fades. But even with, I like this color on my lips a lot. It's kind of, in person, it's giving magenta-y, like muted magenta. Plum. I like that. And then finally, the sparkly black. So this is Demon, yeah. I don't know what that smells like. I think it's supposed to be blackcurrant. Yeah, that's blackcurrant, which is one of my favorite jams and berry kind of situations. So sorry, hiccups. Really interesting. Okay, it's sheer sparkly black. I think this is pretty wearable for a black lip. Really comfortable. Yeah, these are really nice. I will have to give you my thoughts later when I've worn them all, for long, how they sink into the lips, how they wear, all of that. But like, first impressions, really cushiony, like like there's like a silky slip, in oil, but there's like some cushion there too. Really soft. My lips feel hydrated already. So I'm gonna leave this one on. I think this is interesting. So let's leave this on while we do the eyes and the swatches. Okay, I'm wearing long sleeves. I'm wearing my cow sweater. It's fuzzy. It's like carpet. So I'm gonna do the swatches on my hand. I'm gonna do the mattes and then the shimmers. I always say this, swatches really don't tell you how something's gonna perform. It's more just to see what the colors look like on my skin tone. So I'm gonna go bright green, this one and then work my way to the darks. So I have no primer, obviously, or anything, lotion. This is the shade Profane, which is a like acid lime green. It feels really nice. It doesn't feel quite as silky as some of their shadows, but it is like a neon, so I'm not surprised. Neons tend to be just kind of drier in general. But that is vibrant. I might put that on my inner corner. Packed is kind of an olive shade. I wouldn't say mustard. Yeah, I would say that's just a good true olive green. Really like that. And then we've got the shade Power, which is a little softer and is really pretty red, but like a cool red. Let's do, I could do the inside of my hand too, but I'm gonna do the back. So there is the green. That swatched pretty well for like a neon. Olive, lemon olive. And then this like wine color. That's really pretty. This makes me think of this is like a weird Halloween version of the rainbow cookies. If you know what I mean, I hope you understand. I don't remember what they're actually called, but they're a cookie I ate a lot when I lived in New York. And then the last two are Occult and Eldritch. Occult, I think, is a really dark green, almost black, and then Eldritch is a dark purple. I think these are gonna go really well together for an interesting mix. But I'm gonna swatch. I'm gonna do Occult first just because it's right here. Yeah, that is really nice, dark, kind of forest green. On camera, it's pulling a little different than in person. I think in person it looks even darker. And then Eldritch is surprisingly soft. Like, not soft as in like there's kick up, like soft as in like silky to the touch for being such a dark shade. Okay, there is the dark green and that dark purple. Swatching pretty well for how dark those are. They are kind of stinging my fingers, so we'll see what they do with the eyes. They are a vegan formula, so, you know, those can stain. And then we've got 4 shimmers. So we've got Arcanum. Feels nice and creamy. Forgot the word creamy for a second. Bright lime green. I see kind of a mint reflection to it, like a little bit of a mint, not flip, but like as the light hits it, the reflection's more mint than lime. Ritual is the one I'm the most excited about. So it looks like kind of a green gold situation, antique gold, olive green. That one's really, really creamy, even creamier. I'm definitely using that today. That is, yeah, it's definitely like a green base with gold, like it's a green gold shift, but it's olive leaning. I'm just gonna do it all on my hand. So I'll do these right here. Really creamy, a little bit of texture, but in like a good way. Smooths out. And then we've got, okay, that's really beautiful. So it's definitely a shifty shade. So when I hold it like this, I'm seeing Pat McGrath Gigabit kind of vibes, like that dark, muted antique gold, but it flips to like a bright green, bright gold situation. So when I hold it this, and then when I hold it this way, I'm seeing kind of teal. Like looking across my hand, it looks teal. So it's like kind of a teal to green to gold to that antique gold. So really excited to try that out. And then we've got Patron, which is, it looks in the pan like a wine color with maybe blue sparkle. Oh yeah, that's pretty. So it's got kind of a wine cranberry base, and then it's got this really pretty greeny, like blue-green flip. And then Offering is the last one, and that is a dark kind of slate blue. Really beautiful. I think Jordan did a really great job with this color story. Okay, I think that's really pretty. I'm definitely gonna be a little basic and just use like the olivey tones, I think. Maybe the lime green. We'll see. But I'm gonna go wipe off my hands and I'll be right back to do a look. Okay, so I can definitely tell that I didn't film for over a week because of COVID. I also lost my voice for a lot of that. So I'm planning on getting the booster as soon as possible anyway, but I am already losing my voice again. So I'm glad I'm gonna just do one look. So I apologize for that if you were hoping for multiple, but I can always do a multi-looks video or something later, or just use it in a get ready with me or something. So let me know in the comments if you're interested in any more looks. I'm just putting a little bit of my NARS eyeshadow primer down. My fingers aren't actually stained. It washed off easily with soap. It just didn't wipe away very easily. So I'm gonna grab, this is just a rougher one brush. And I'm gonna go into Packed first. I wanna see how this olive works. I'm gonna do kind of a basic, what I would do most commonly with this. Also, I apologize if the lighting gets weird. The sun, I think, is basically going away fully at this point. It's been raining a lot too, so it's been like mildly overcast to like pitch black because it's raining so hard. So I have no idea what's going on. I'm already wearing mascara, but I'm just gonna put this out here. That's a really big, really nice olive. So tapped out nicely. Now let's see how it blends. Okay, this is a nice olive. And it's pigmented enough that it doesn't just like blend into my skin. I have used similar like just olive shades that kind of melt into my skin, which is nice for a transition, but like also not what I always want. That's really nice. It's got just enough, it's got that nice blend of yellow and green. Not too yellow olive, but not too green. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna do that on the other eye real quick. Okay, so that's gotten a nice base for me. I'm gonna grab a slightly, let's see. I'm gonna grab, if I can find it. I literally have all of my brushes and a couple face brushes in one thing, and I still can't find them. Okay, so I'm gonna take a little bit of Profane, the like acidy lime green, and I'm gonna put that on the inner corner. I just wanna see how it shows up on the skin. Okay, not quite as bright as I thought, but it is still a nice bright pop. I would say, let's see. Yeah, it's packing on nicely. Let's see if it blends up. Yeah, and it's blending out. I wouldn't try to blend a neon shade like this too much. Like if you wanted to use this as your transition shade, I would put the dark shade in your crease and blend the edges out with this. You don't really want to blend neon-y shades out. They just kind of will disappear, nature of the pigment, no matter what brand. But interesting little inner corner, so it's not just a totally boring look. I mean, it's not gonna be boring since I had a shimmer, but you know. And then I'm gonna grab, this is a small Sigma brush. I'm gonna pick up a Cult, I like this because it's small, but it's still kind of fluffy. And I'm gonna tap a coat right here. And we'll definitely compare this when we're done to the dark greens and like Druid and stuff. It's definitely different, but, and I want to see how this is going to blend into Packed. Always do the more Instagram-y, you know, pack this all over and blend the edges, which is probably what I would do if I wanted to use it with Profane. But I want to see how they blend. It's making Packed look almost yellow in comparison in person, but they're blending together nicely. Okay, I'm going back into this brush. I wiped it off, it's just a little stained now. And I'm gonna blend the two together and make sure, if you're ever worried about the blend, go back into the first shade again. They seem to be blending into each other really nicely. I think Fantasy Cosmetica has a good formula. I like, you know, not everything made in China is created equal, but I think they've picked a good one. I have not had any shades from them be a dud. Okay, I really like this. This is looking really nice. They have blended together nicely. My lid is not blended, but like I'm gonna put a sugar there so I don't care. I'm not trying to blend there. But my crease has diffused really nicely, and there's not a harsh line between the two, especially in person. You can see the gradation between the dark and the lighter olive. Okay, so I really like that. I think that's blended out really nicely. Zero issues, not very much effort either. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up a brush, my go-to shimmer brush, Refer 21. I suggest anything that's like really dense and thin. I say this all the time, but like using something, that's not the right brush. I mean, this is a concealer brush, but using something like this, a little dense, but like not the most. But using like this is too fluffy. This is gonna send it everywhere. Even this is a little too fluffy for me. I like dense. So I'm gonna pick up Ritual. I find I don't get fallout that way. And I'm gonna place that on the lid. Really pretty. I will definitely be grabbing this palette. I like the other shades, but this is my favorite kind of color. So I'm gonna be grabbing for this shade the most. Okay, really, really like that. Very fall, very green. I think this is a really unique, interesting fall color story. I think Jordan has done a really good job with this again. Okay, so I'm gonna finish this up on the other eye. And then let's do some comparisons after. Okay, so this is the finished look. I'm not gonna put anything on my lower lash line. I really like this. It's reminiscent of other green eyeshadows I have, but different. I can definitely tell it's from this, not something else. Between like the specific tones of it. Really, really like this. I am very, very, very happy with this look. Okay. Let's do a couple comparisons real quick before we wrap up. So this is the Fighter palette. This was their last one. I don't think there's any comparable shades, but I didn't want to show them side by side. I think these would probably pair really nicely. The neutrals, like using Valor and Marshall from this one with this shade, with Ritual, would be a really interesting way to make it a little less green, a little more neutral. So if you have this and you wanted to wear this for work, but without being as punchy green, I would put Ritual over Valor and Marshall. I think that would look really great. But you can see this is very much olive. This one is like more of a yellow brown. So you can see how much more, you can really see the olive popping out there. This is the Rogue palette. I don't think there's anything comparable in here. There's a dark green, but it's very different. So here's the dark green from Rogue, and here's the dark green from Warlock. This one's darker. Like this one looks almost black on my finger. And the undertone is different. It's a little more blue-green here. They're both really dark greens, but they're definitely different. This one has a little bit more gray to it, the one from Rogue. I think that way it mixes with the mint and the blues in there. And then we've got the Bard palette here. Again, much more bright and poppy. This is very much a fall palette for me as well. But you can see it's a little more primary. This is a little more grungy, is the only way I can really think to say it. I hate how often the word grungy is thrown around on makeup YouTube, but it's just murky, darker, grungier. This is a little more primary. You can see you've got a nice dark green here, but it's not a like true bright olive like this, and it's definitely not almost as black as this. I think it would go well with those if you want to mix it up. And this is a, you know, much more punchy yellow versus the olive. You can really see the olive when you put it next to a yellow. I love the Bard palette. Definitely gonna do a ranking later this year. And then here it is next to their very first palette, the Druid. Almost dropped. I'm gonna swatch the two olivey shades next to each other. And I'll swatch the two dark greens, but I don't think that they're very similar. Okay, so we've got Packed versus Sage. So Packed versus Sage. Sage is greener. It's more of a green olive versus a yellow olive. So those are gonna be different. You can definitely see. This is like an olive green versus just olive. And then we've got the two dark greens. So we've got Forest in the original versus Occult. Forest is like a dark teal. Put it right here, and then Occult there. So we've got Warlock here, Druid here. You can see there's more blue to this one. And then this one also has this like bright, shiny kind of gold shade in the middle, green gold. So I'll put those two next to each other. So Ritual's creamier. And has much more of a flip to it. So this is Ritual. You can see the olive really coming out. Sorry, my brain just stopped working. This was trying to make sure I swatched them in order. So the top row is all from Warlock and the bottom is from Druid. So you can see that much more like antique gold to it. It's really making me, the reflection is making me think Gigabyte from Pat McGrath, but then it's a multi-chrome, so it's got more to it. So, no dupes. So if you were worried about anything being too similar, I hope that helps. Really, ow, I just smacked myself. I need to go eat. It really like this. Okay, I'm gonna throw a little bit more of this Affilate lip oil on. You can see the black is kind of soaked in already. My lips still feel hydrated, you're just not seeing it as much. It has been like 20 minutes. Okay, so I really like this. I think Jordan did a great job on this collection. I'm really happy I got it in PR, and I'm very grateful for that. So thank you, Fantasy Cosmetica, for sending this to me. But I also I think that they did a really great job. Okay, so I'm really happy with this. I obviously have only used 4 shades, 4 out of 9, but I can tell based on touching them that they're the same formula, so I don't think there's gonna be anything wrong with them. Like I said, this is a first impression. I will keep using this. I will let you know later. I can do another video dedicated to this if you'd like, but I'm really happy with this, and I think they did a really great job with this. So I hope this is a very good launch for them. I hope that you all like this. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the palette, what you think of the look I did, all of that. You know I love to talk to you and hear from you. If you do pick this up, I would love it if you use my code, but obviously you don't have to use mine, but use someone's, save some money. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Like I said, this should be live. This should be available as this video is going live. So let me know what you think, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.